Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Hope everything looks okay on the live stream. Looks okay, sounds okay. We're gonna drive around a little while. I've got to mail something. I'll probably swing by McDonald's, get some sweet tea, and kind of tool around the region for a little while, testing things out. We're going to use this UStream, or I'm sorry, YouTube. Got to get used to saying YouTube streaming platform, probably for the rest of the season. Kind of here's the plan. There's going to be quite a few little startups in the live streaming world for weather coming out here in the next week or two or month or 2 months. And all of them are going to sound wonderful. Each one of the people who is putting together the live stream platform will say, oh, ours is the best because of this and this and this. And, you need to sign up with us because we're free and we'll give you this and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, once the season's over and a bunch of people sign up, they may wish they didn't. So I don't see any reason to switch over to any one of those companies until I've thoroughly researched them, and also until people have streamed with them and can vouch for their authenticity and how good they really are. So we're just going to go with the YouTube for the remainder of the season, and we'll also have it in conjunction with the old Ustream live streaming platform as well. So if YouTube for some reason craps out, we'll have Ustream to back us up. And then at the end of the season, or maybe for the hurricane season, I'll ponder or consider possibly going with a particular live streaming company, if there is one that's decent out there. But until then, I think we're going to do just fine. The key is quality, which you get with YouTube. No commercials, which you get with YouTube. There's no commercials, just like what we had with Ustream. That was annoying. So you'll have a clean commercial stream feed. We'll also be able to do some of our fun B-roll stuff, which means, the little video clips like the, dramatic announcement with the hamster, the introduction page to our radar, stuff like that we'll be able to do once again. So that'll be kind of fun. But we're probably going to stay away from a lot of that fancy stuff, at least initially. We may start incorporating those, again, once we get a little more comfortable with YouTube and their terms of service. We don't want to do anything to screw up our relationship with YouTube. So there'll be probably very little music. It'll be just strictly business. And at least this first chase that we're going out on this coming Saturday through next Wednesday, probably be a no frills stream. I will try to stream a lot once again. I can't promise driveway to driveway streaming, but I can promise you that you're going to get a good amount of live streaming from me, with the stream probably starting early afternoon and ending late night for the 4 to 5 days that I'm out chasing. So that's kind of the plan. Just want to, inform everybody about that. Right now, I'm looking pretty solid here on my upload. I'm assuming that it sounds good, it looks good. Richard is going to be working. He may have already mentioned this, but he's going to be working on embedding a map on the site. And Richard, can you go ahead and just post the link to that map so folks can actually register for that little service that we registered for yesterday? It's free. It's the map we're going to be using probably this season, and it does show when we go live. It shows up on a US map when we go live. So it's a great little map to look at. A lot of people are wondering, well, where do I go to know who's streaming? Well, this map will at least tell you that I'm streaming, and several other pretty well-known chasers are also a part of this group, and they will inform you when they are live streaming as well. So if Richard could post the link to that page, again, it's a quick and easy registration. And once you're there and on there, it's actually a pretty cool site. They've got a map and weather information all incorporated onto one page. It's really, really a cool thing. When Richard popped that up yesterday, he went, "Whoa, check this out." I was like, "Oh, this is pretty impressive." So it gives you basically a one-stop location for weather information and also for seeing that I'm up live streaming. So you don't have to go to spotternetwork.org anymore. You can just go there and you'll see me live streaming. The only time you wouldn't is if my GPS isn't working. And, we don't have to have GPS, so that's to stream. So if the GPS for someday ever craps out, the only impact that would have is you wouldn't be able to follow me on a map. The live streaming and everything would continue as normal. So it's not tied in any way to GPS. But, as long as my GPS is up, and it is now, you'll see me there. You can also always go over to spotternetwork.org and look at their map. But there really shouldn't be any reason to do that now that you've got this other map option. And it's a very good map. You can zoom in on it. I don't know, Richard, does it have radar superimposed on it? Is there a way that people can control, what's on the map? Can they put radar on there and things like that? We didn't have a chance to really play with it yesterday. So if it had that sort of feature, that would be awesome as well. I don't know. Maybe Richard can fill everybody in on that. So livechasers.com/Michael Phelps. That'll get you the activity map. And just kind of let us know how you like the map, how you like the YouTube stream, and what you think of the quality. We've got the bit rate down to 300. We were streaming at 200 on Ustream, so we actually should have a little better quality. But it's also, we can go up to 1,000 bit rates, but that would eat up so much bandwidth that I don't think it's worth it, and it would also probably cause a lot of buffering issues. So I think 300 is a nice stream. We're dropping 0 frames right now, which is excellent. That means people should have a very, very solid stream with zero frames dropped. So 300 is probably going to work really well. All right, I'm going to go mobile here. Run over to the post office real quick, and there might be a couple of outages between here and there. There usually are out here in this part of the county that I'm in for Verizon. For some reason, there's still, a few holes. So if you lose the stream, it should come back up. One of the things we learned yesterday is even when there were outages, people were still being able to hold the stream. It would buffer, but they would hold the stream, which is different. In the past, the stream completely dropped out during these outages, and now it looks like it's kind of holding on even through some of the 5 and 10 and 20-second outages that we experience, which is cool. That prevents you from having to continually refresh. So that was something we learned yesterday. I hope that is the case with this as well. Each one of these streaming platforms have different systems internally, and there might be something internally there at YouTube that kind of prevents that sort of thing, from being an issue. So, So radar, Richard says it has radar, very detailed maps. Dave, thanks, says it looks good. Thanks, Dance. Ben Taylor, hi from the UK. Got your message this morning, Ben. We'll get you out here. Maybe next year. Doing tours next year. I put up a little thing on Facebook yesterday about a spot tour that we're doing. Pretty sure that's filled now. I'm still waiting to hear 100% confirmation from a couple of folks, father and son, that are planning on coming out from California. They're trying to get their flights arranged. If for some reason they should fall through, I'll continue. I'll still have 2 openings for that spot tour, which will start on Sunday. Actually, it could start as early as Saturday. I plan to be in Wichita, Kansas on Friday evening, tomorrow evening, in fact, and chase Saturday through next Wednesday. So if anybody is interested in chasing with me for a 4 to 5 day period, it looks like every day they'll be chasing. Every day there'll be the chance for beautiful supercells and even a tornado. So it looks like a pretty good setup. Just email me at stormvideoman@yahoo.com, and I can give you more information on that. Or if you know somebody who would like to do something like that, and it's a lot cheaper than a 2 or 3 week tour. Again, because it's only 4 or 5 days, you're paying on a per day basis. And if there's no weather happening that day, then you get a refund. You don't have to pay. So it's a pretty good deal for somebody who wants to see really good weather but doesn't have 2 or 3 weeks to commit to it. And also these spot chases, there's usually a pretty good success rate with those, because I only go out if it looks really good for severe weather, and it does. So you're pretty much assured of seeing something decent during your 4 or 5 day period that you're out. So again, just email me, stormvideoman@yahoo.com, if you or anybody you know would be interested in that sort of thing. We'll be hitting the road, or I'll be hitting the road for Wichita tomorrow, and that's where the tour will start and end. It'll start on Saturday or Sunday and end next Wednesday at the end of Chase Day operations. All right, I'm going to go mobile, and we'll do a little stream test while I drive around here in Paulding and Carroll counties in western Georgia for a little while. Let me crank on my air conditioner, cool off my computer a little bit. It's feeling a little hot. There we go. That should work. All right, and we're off. Hey, Perry. My daughter's statement to me will live in infamy. Perry, apparently that church, according to local lore, that church in New Georgia Elementary School was hit by a tornado and destroyed back or severely damaged back in, I believe somebody said, the 1950s, or it may have been later, but apparently there was a damaging tornado in my neighborhood back in the past. You being the tornado climatologist and statistician expert and history expert, might be able to dig up some information on that. In the New Georgia area, New Georgia tornado, it would probably have been rated F2 or 3, I would assume. It sounded, according to the people who say that it happened, it sounded pretty significant. So, don't know if you know anything about that or could find out. That would be cool to know. Hit by 2 tornadoes in 1913. Holy smokes. So, wow. All right. Well, that wasn't quite the 1950s, but people with their stories, they get the dates mixed up sometimes. Well, that's more confirmation. I mean, your grandmother grew up there. I've heard from other people in the area that there was tornadoes in the past. So, I might have to go dig through Tom Grzulis's Significant Tornadoes book and see if I can find anything out about that. I'm sure you have that book, Perry, so might be time to do a little research in the Tom Grzulis book. Significant Tornadoes, 1880-something to 1992, I think, is the name of these book from Tom Gerzoulis. It's like a Bible of tornado history. You know, it would be nice if it went back farther and was updated now to include things up through the 2000s. But, you know, for that period, man, it's like the Bible of tornado history. Has maps, pictures, descriptions, eyewitness accounts of every significant tornado recorded during that, you know, period of time, over 100 years. Well, given the direction of movement of that tornado, it probably went through or passed very close to, you know, if it was moving northeast, would have went very close to my neighborhood. So, of course, at that time, there weren't any houses in that neighborhood, I'm sure, just probably a farmstead, you know. But that's interesting. Villa Rica was destroyed in 1884. Holy cow. Wow, this is good information. I did not know that. Folks, we're about ready to go into Villa Rica here, so it's made a nice recovery since 1884, Perry, I must say. How's the stream looking and sounding, folks? Let me know. Looking and sounding good, average, worse than it was before. I want you to compare what we're doing now with what we were doing with TVN and Ustream. I'm going to be honest, if you think it's crappy, if you think it's worse, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. The stream quality is worse than it was, then let me know. Now's our time to fix it. So you're not hurting anybody's feelings by being honest about sound and quality of video and audio. Just tell us what's going on. Based on your years of watching us, do we look any better or worse or about the same? So we can use that information to tweak with some levels and whatnot. Great. That's what I want to hear. Now, I'm still thinking the video looks, to be honest with you, on my end, the video still looks a little soft. Now, I've got it focused. The camera's in focus. Not quite sure what the softness of the video is related to. Maybe, Richard, if you're still watching and can confirm that or deny it, but at least on my end, on the viewer that I'm looking at, the video looks what's called a little soft, meaning it looks slightly blurry. All right, Richard just embedded the map. Great. Everybody refresh. Everybody refresh. And Richard, if you could research this softness issue, and maybe we need to change resolutions or something to get rid of this, because it does look different on the viewer than it did on Ustream. In fact, what I can do, folks, is we can do a simultaneous stream on Ustream and YouTube. So what you can do is you can click the Ustream tab on the website and go to Ustream and compare the video quality on Ustream with YouTube. So let me do that. This will be a nice test. I'm going to open up Ustream, and we're going to stream on Ustream and YouTube. All right. Right now I'm up on Ustream as well. So here within the next minute, once the commercial runs, you should be able to see the exact same live stream on Ustream and compare it to what you're seeing on YouTube. And if it looks poor on both, then we have something that we can fix in XSplit to hopefully remedy that situation. It's not bad. I mean, it's live streaming, so you can't expect crystal clear, HD quality on a live stream. I don't care even if you have an HD camera, because you're restricted by bandwidth and other issues that are going to degrade quality. So that's why I always say it makes no sense to stream with an HD camera. It just eats up bandwidth, and people really can't tell the difference in quality. So, I hope it's something that we can work on and fix and tweak with. Richard, if you think it's worth, messing with today, I can zip over there at 1:30 and we can look at some things and try to examine quality issues, try to get it as good as possible. Just let me know if you think that's necessary. Streaming stopping and starting, it might be because of streaming on both platforms right now. It's kind of degrading the stream a little bit, eating up some bandwidth, because we're up at about a 80 on the upload rate now between the two of them. So that might be why the streaming is stopping and starting. I'm going to go, now that you've had a chance to compare, I'm going to drop out of Ustream. And that should fix the issue. Alright, let me know if the stream is still stopping and starting. I've went ahead and dropped out of Ustream now. We're on YouTube exclusively again. Good morning, Conundrum. What is going on? I'll never forget our little chase there in Arkansas that time. I think, Quiet, weren't you? Maybe got the wrong person, but I've got a pretty good memory, I think, still yet at my age. You were the one in Conway, and we were worried about that tornado headed your way, and it was the time I had the close call in Mayflower. Was that you? I think it was. If not, sorry. All right. That business taken care of at the post office. Now we will head on through downtown Villa-Rica and then head on over to the McDonald's in Mirror Lake, and then I'll stop by that Mirror Lake, which actually has a different name according to Perry, again being the local around here. He used to fish in that lake, or when he was young, apparently, or his aunt did, or one of his relatives. So it's the lake in Mirror Lake. I just call it Mirror Lake, but I think it actually has a different name. Clicking sound, very low sound. All right, Richard, do you hear the clicking? Could that be possibly associated with the microphone in the laptop? Yes. All right, Quiet. Yep. All right, I thought that was you. Whew, man, we were worried about you, and then people got worried about me, and it was just a crazy, crazy chase day. We live for that, though, don't we? If you're not on the edge, you're not living. So, it's good to be on the edge. But I was living a little too much that day with that flat tire, and having to flee an EF4 tornado on a flat tire was not the way I would have wanted it to turn out, But you do what you got to do, to get away from these things. So I hauled butt on a flat tire. Yeah, I thought about stopping and getting some breakfast at Hardee's. I love their breakfast platter, but I think I'm just going to get a sweet tea at the McDonald's. But we're heading through Villa Rica right now, folks. It's a pretty little downtown, very typical of a lot of the downtowns in Georgia. You just see the shops and stuff on the right, the older buildings. Small town America. That's the nice thing about these small towns is, life runs a little slower here. And especially the small towns out in the plains. There's nothing like those little towns out in Kansas and in Oklahoma and Nebraska. Just, you feel like you're literally going back in time when you go into these towns. Time slows down. The stress level drops. I envy the people who live in these towns and just kind of go to the little diner in the morning and eat every day, and they have a routine, and that's the way. That's a really good, quiet way to live. And these people eat unhealthy. They grow up eating fatty foods and stuff, and eggs and good American food, but yet they still live to be 80, 90 years old because they have no stress. Their stress level is so low. So stress is a killer, even more so than some of the bad things we eat and some of the bad habits we have. If you can work to eliminate a lot of the stress in your life, really doesn't matter how unhealthy you are, maybe in your eating habits or whatnot, you're going to live longer. That's a proven fact. So, if you can get them all under control, that's best. But I'm saying if you need to work on one thing, and you can easily work on stress, you don't have to be stressed out. You don't have to live life like that. And that's something you can fix pretty quickly and easily if you just take the initiative to do it. Some of the other things, like weight and eating habits and other bad habits we may have, may be more difficult. But in my opinion, you can take steps to lower the stress level in your life and significantly improve your quality of life fairly quickly if you so choose. There's no reason to live on this earth, because really our life doesn't matter on this earth. We've yet to figure out a true purpose for the human species for being on this planet. We're one of the very few species that really has no true good purpose for being on this planet. So ultimately, as a species, our life means nothing here. We're just here for however long we're here, and then we die, and we don't have a purpose. So why live your life in stress and worry and take it that seriously when ultimately you don't really have a reason for being here? In fact, we're more damaging to this planet than we are helpful. So there's absolutely no reason for our species to even exist on this planet. So again, why worry and take things seriously when there's no reason for you to even be here? And in the end, it won't even matter that you were here. It's pretty blunt and everything, but it's an absolute fact. We take our lives so serious while we're here, when in fact, when we're gone, it'll mean nothing, and there was no reason for us to ever be here in the first place. So, there you go. Philosophy from Mr. Phelps. Take it or leave it. Like it, hate it. I don't care. That's my life. That's the way I look at things. I look at things a little different. I look at things a little deeper than a lot of folks. And it's the way it is. Yeah, I'll take a large sweet tea, and that'll be all.
107 first, thank you.
Well, it's not very dark at all here, and that's another thing. I was looking at the screen, and it looks a little dark, doesn't it? So Richard says he's found the deal with YouTube. Oh my God, it's Aaron Blazer, folks, and he's wearing that scary-looking mask. Hey, Aaron, how's it going?
They're saying the same thing on their end. It's like it's breaking up every other sentence or word. How you doing, large sweet tea? 107.
Yeah. All right, have a good day.
You too, thank you.
Thanks. Dude, it is good to be out and about. All right, Richard, so to stream higher quality, you're going to need to bump up the bandwidth. All right, yeah, so it's the only thing we can do really to improve the look is bump bandwidth. I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast briefly here and bump it up just to see if that makes things a little better. So hold on. Yeah. All right, thanks. You too. All right, folks, I bumped the bit rate up to 600. So let's see how the quality looks at 600. Resolution 640 by 360. Alright, hold on a second. I'm going to pull over here at the Dollar General and look at a couple of things real quick. I'm also going to do another focus on the camera just to make sure that we're focused in really, really good. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is focus. I'm going to zoom in on a distant tree or a tower or something and make sure that we are sharply focused. And it really looks like we are. I can't imagine being focused better than that. That's pretty focused right there according to my camera. Still looks a little fuzzy on the screen though. Alright, so that's that. Let's see here. That reminds me, Aaron, I'm going to call up a radar for down in that area and check out the radar real quick. Oh, wow. Yeah. Huh. Looking over there in Dimmitt County, LaSalle, that's a pretty hefty cell, 2.5-inch diameter hail. So Aaron lives down here in the Corpus Christi area. He's right here, folks. And I'm assuming the yellow box probably covers, basically this is the back edge of it, and probably goes all the way down to here and then over and kind of up like that. So they're under a severe thunderstorm watch in this area because of this line of storms that'll be progressing off to the east as daytime heating occurs and instability builds. This line will probably intensify, especially the south end here. It's going to be pretty nasty as it heads through LaSalle and McMullen County. Eventually, this is probably going to kind of turn down toward the Corpus area. So, yeah, it could be pretty rough. And then you got these little isolated cells here that are developing out ahead of the main area. So, pretty unstable environment here. You'll have the main line most likely, and then more scattered to isolated activity that will kind of pop up in random fashion out ahead of the main line. So, yeah, pretty active day for you, and definitely it certainly appears. All right, Richard, I'm going to check that resolution 640 over by 360. Hi, Transit. Hey, Shankster. Geez, 10 to 15 inches of rain. And then can you imagine if you have a really active tropical season for once down there? You haven't really had one since you've lived there, and man, that'll be a lot of rain this year. Yes, Tony, indeed. All right, I'm going to shut the stream off briefly to check that resolution, as Richard has advised. So I will be right back. Stand by. Ah, but Perry, nobody sells better pecan logs than Stuckey's. I can remember being a kid. Stuckey's were everywhere. I think there's still a few of them around, but they used to be literally everywhere on our travels through Kansas and Oklahoma when I was a kid. And we would always stop at Stuckey's there on the way, it was somewhere in northern Oklahoma, and we would get some pecan logs and other stuff there at Stuckey's. It was awesome. Loved Stuckey's. Richard, I cannot find where I would check that 640 by 360 resolution. I opened up several things within XSplit, and I could not find the resolution. Obviously, the little wheel will show you the bit rate and all that, but I didn't see a resolution thing. I looked at advanced. I went to the advanced, and I didn't find it there either. So, Richard, if you're still watching or listening, if you could give me a little tutorial on how to find the resolution in XSplit, man, so I can fix that or check it. That would be awesome.